my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay
everyone?
calm.
What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
Looks like we're talking about the Catalyst Comets today. Now, for those of you who do not know, the Catalyst Comets are some of the most important parts of Adventure Time lore simply due to the fact that they influence pretty much the vast majority of every event that has happened thus far in the story. Now, physically speaking, the Catalyst Comets are literal embodiments of a particular aspect within the multiverse. Now, the aspect it represents could literally be anything, like good, evil, or even neutrality, or pretty much anything else in between. Now, due to the fact that they are literal embodiments of a particular aspect of the multiverse, they are literally impossible to get rid of. Even if you destroy their original form, they will eventually reincarnate into a new one. A good example of this would be Finn, who was originally a Catalyst Comet that represented good, but then eventually reincarnated into a butterfly, interdimensional creature, and then various other forms after that. It should be noted that whatever form they actually end up taking, they will tend to keep their memories of previous lives. A good example of this would be the Lich, as he was able to basically remember everything since before time even began and before he even became a full-on Catalyst Comet. Finn, as of right now, is the only known exception to this due to the fact that he actively vaults his previous memories so it doesn't influence his current life. However, at any time and for any reason, he has the ability to remember anything from any previous life by opening the vault and regaining his previous memories. It also seems that every single cosmic entity that stems from a Catalyst Comet, as well as the Catalyst Comet itself, has a very unique connection to each other. The reason I say this is due to the fact when the new comet was hurtling towards Earth, Sweet Pea as well as Finn were beginning to have visions as well as dreams about the event, showing that they were somewhat connected to it, at least to some degree. However, regardless of their connection, one thing that always remains the same between every single one of them is that they are incredibly powerful. Simply factoring in their cosmic importance is one thing, but when you factor in how they are literally imbued and completely infused with various forms of magic, they become that much more deadly. To give you an idea of just how powerful the Catalyst Comets are, Orgalorg was one of the most powerful individuals around this time and was able to completely take over an entire solar system and destroy multiple planets. And despite this, the only thing he wanted above all else was the power of the Catalyst Comet. If he had actually managed to absorb the power of a Catalyst Comet, he would have been practically unstoppable, but we'll go over that within his own video. Now, another reason why they are so incredibly powerful is due to the fact that they have a fundamental understanding of how the multiverse works. And as we've mentioned in many other videos, the more you understand how the universe works, the more you are able to influence it. Because of this, they have abilities that are particularly impressive. After getting consent, the Purple Comet was able to make Martin an incorporeal form so that they could explore the entire multiverse. They are also completely aware of how time works, being actively outside of its stream and experiencing everything all at the same time. This is why the Purple Comet actually tells Finn whether or not he wanted to actually experience the end in the beginning, because she was literally experiencing the end and the beginning. It should also be noted that typically this power actually will transfer through incarnations. As per usual, a good example of this would be the Lich, who actually retained a good portion of the power he had as a Catalyst Comet. Finn is also a good example due to the fact that he has flat out shown an incredible affinity for magic as well as insane physical strength. Now, regardless of whatever aspect they ultimately take on, they will always lead to an insane amount of change within the multiverse. Now, typically, whenever the comet hits the planet that it was sent to, its liquid essence body will typically be destroyed, and it will actually kick off the reincarnation cycle. However, if something were to stop this from happening by destroying their exterior, they will reform into a semi-liquid form, being fully sentient and having the ability to control all their powers. It should be noted that there is actually no limitation on what they can become in different incarnations. They could either become weird goo, some kind of energy, or various other forms including butterflies, grass, or trees. Now, depending on what they actually represent, they could either be far more destructive or far more passive in the incarnations they ultimately decide to become. Now, with all the official stuff out the way, let's get right into the speculation section. Starting off strong, we have the very interesting theory on whether or not Jake is actually the yellow comet. And this one is actually a theory that I actually think is true, because it fits all of the criteria that we currently know about the Catalyst Comets. As I had mentioned before, every single Catalyst Comet and their incarnations will almost always come into contact with one another in some way, shape, or form. And as far as we know, Finn in every single incarnation aside from his comet form always had some companion. There's also a matter of his reincarnation. Jake has reincarnated a certain number of times, and every single reincarnation of his that we know of always ends up with Finn. Jake has also shown incredible cosmic awareness as well as power, considering he is the current dreamer of Prismo, and has also showed the ability to warp reality based on his own imagination. Putting this all together, you have an entity that always comes into contact with Finn, is literally immortal, with it reincarnating every single time, and has shown incredible change and influence on the world. He basically checks every single box for the Catalyst Comet Incarnation list. Additionally, considering that we know that a Catalyst Comet appears every 1,000 years, there are probably hundreds if not thousands that we simply don't know about, and a good amount of them could be reincarnations of primordials that have died before. Though there is no evidence to actually support that claim, I just thought it would be cool to include. Now with that being said, that's all the information I have for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, go to my other social media platforms. If you have an idea for a video, put it down in the comments below, as well as any other ideas that you have to improve the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!